Hi, this is Maury Moreland Morrison, here to tell you Geico has more than just great savings. Much more. Geico's been around for more than 75 years, back when they were using Morse code. Sorry, that's just my sense of humor. What's more, with Geico you get 24/7 access to licensed agents on the app, online, or over the phone, so you can talk to them at night or in the morning. So forevermore, just know that no other auto insurer has more than Geico. More power to you. Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
Hi, welcome to another episode of No BS Job Search Advice Radio. I'm your host, Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and this is episode 810 of the show with more episodes in iTunes and Stitcher than any other podcast about job search. And today's is about preparing you for second or final interviews so that you put on a good performance. Hope you find this helpful and give it 5 stars in iTunes or Stitcher. It helps other people find the show. And if you're interested in my coaching you, listen to the end of the show. There's some information there that will help you. Now let's get going. I'm back with more advice for you for your second or final interview. Now, I have a number of videos about second interviews, and I believe there's even a playlist. So you ought to watch the playlist if you haven't already seen my other videos on this. I think it'll be a huge help for you in your preparation. And here's another point I want you to prepare for on your second or final interview. The point is, get the feedback that's been offered so far about your performance. Most people think that if they've been invited back, everything is great. I'll tell you a story. When I was working with an agency in New York some years ago, a colleague of mine was scheduling a candidate of mine on first, second, and ultimately a final interview with one of her clients. That was all going well. She told me everyone loved the guy, bullshit. So they got to a point where the person got turned down. And then she told me what their reluctance had been all along. And I was furious, absolutely furious, because it was all stuff that he could have addressed very easily on the interview if only he knew. So here's my point for you. It's really useful to get the feedback from the HR person or from the hiring manager before you meet with the head of the function. If you're working with a third-party recruiter, get the feedback from them. If the third-party recruiter goes, everything's great so far, ask them, could you go back to them and just say, are there any areas of concern? What are your thoughts about them? What do you like? What are the hesitations? Do stuff to flush up any of the problem areas. Because there's one thing I've learned in my 40 plus years of doing this. Small problems become big problems unless they're addressed. You're always best if you address them in the meeting, are prepared to address them in the meeting, and are proactive with addressing what their hesitation or concern might be. But you need to know what they are. You can't assume it. Now, if you can't get anything, I want you to think back to your first interview or previous interviews and see where the dead spots were, where the uncomfortable things were, where your background doesn't necessarily match up entirely with the job, and how you handled it then, and whether you seem to have a receptive audience. Go back and review, and that becomes the best that you can do to compensate if you can't get feedback elsewhere. So that's today's show. I hope you found it helpful, and if you did, here are a few ways to connect with me. First of all, if you're interested in one-to-one coaching from me, email me at jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us. In the subject line, put the word coaching. This way I know what it's about. I can get back in touch with you. We'll figure out a time to speak for an introductory conversation so that I learn what your needs are and you can figure out if I'm the right person to help you. Generally, I work with people at a manager level and above, but I do make exceptions from time to time. If you're not at that level and want advice from me, the best way is through JobSearchCoachingHQ.com. There I have curated information that I've developed and others have as well that you can watch, listen to, or read that's going to help you find work more quickly. Again, you can ask me questions through the site. I'd be very happy to answer your questions. I look forward to helping you in either of those two ways. And if we're not connected on LinkedIn, send a connection request to me at linkedin.com/IN/The Big Game Hunter. Mention that you listen to the show because I love hearing from fans, from listeners who have been helped by the show. And like me on Facebook. The page is facebook.com/NoBSCoachingAdvice.com, or look for Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter there. Give me 5 stars, a great review. It helps other people discover the show. And I'll be back tomorrow with more. In the meantime, have a great day. Take care.
Napa know-how.
A Napa guy knows more isn't always better, unless we're talking about full-size vans. These beasts do more than get you from A to B. They have so much space a man can live in it. With shag carpeting, waterbed, and a sweet lava lamp, these mobile abodes have all the comforts of home. With quality parts and plenty of Napa know-how, you can keep the original tiny house running longer, stronger. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.